Hello, bonjour, Alberta. Did you know that at least 238,000 people speak Français in Alberta? And those numbers just keep on growing? Oui, oui, c'est vrai, it's true. And thanks to Shaw TV Community Access Programming, we get to reach out to everyone to let you know all about special people, places, events, and activities happening right here in this great province, in both English and en français. That's right, mes amis. We begin the first part of our program in English, and then we repeat it en français. So stay with us. Restez à l'écoute.
Welcome et bienvenue to Hello, Bonjour, Alberta. I'm Mark Lalonde. In today's episode, we're very pleased to present to you Hélène Lequitte, Editor-in-Chief of Le FRANCO, the only French-language newspaper in Alberta. Welcome, Hélène.
Thank you, Mark.
So let's get started with your life history. I'll have to keep it short, but you have quite an interesting life history because you were born rather far away, weren't you?
Yes, I'm born and raised in France, actually, in a city called Angers in French and not Angers in English, which is very different. And so it's more in the northwest of the country, between Brittany and Paris, basically. So this is the Loire Valley. Since I was like 25, I wanted for my studies, after my studies, to go in Canada, and my personal adventure started then.
But you had adventures before that. Didn't you grow up next to a castle in France?
Like, in France there are many castles, and that in that specific part of France, the Loire Valley is like a dream come true, I would say. So that castle, it's the old castle from the 12th century.
Oh, wow.
So it's really beautiful, very authentic, and a lot of history.
And you were telling me it's a family that had links to the royal family in England.
Originally, yes, they were cousins between the royal court in England and the French one. So this is the Plantagenet family, which is in history very famous, to keep alliances and peace as well, in the country.
I see, political liaisons, I guess. But you left before you got involved with that, I take it.
Absolutely, it was a matter. I was a political refugee.
Refugee to Canada. So why did you choose Canada?
Because it's a beautiful country. It's a huge country with many opportunities, and that gives that sense and test of freedom, and that everything is possible.
Okay. So did you come directly to Alberta, or did you go somewhere else?
No, I came first of all, like many francophone people, in Quebec, in Montreal. Since I was a teenager, since I was 14, I was used to visit Montreal, and after the end of my studies in journalism and sociology, I decided I want to go there to get a work experience for a year. And so as an intern, I just got a job in a radio for a year, and I really liked my experience, and I wanted to stay longer in the country. And this is what happened, because after an internship, after a working holiday visa, after a permanent residency, I got finally my citizenship 4 years ago in Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
So officially, I am a Canadian citizen.
Canadian, yes. And you lived in Calgary also, I understand.
After Vancouver, I moved in Calgary, like many people as well, because BC is a beautiful province, but Alberta, gives opportunities that are like quite interesting. And after 2 years and a half, I just moved in Edmonton recently, to work with Le FRANCO.
With Le FRANCO, all right. All right, let's switch gears. What is Le FRANCO? Can you give us a brief history of Le FRANCO, although I understand it's a long history?
It's a weekly French newspaper since 1926. So again, a lot of history. It's a weekly newspaper, but we have an edition as well per month. So This is the only French paper in the entire province, which is pretty unique, I think. And that gives great potential and opportunities, I think, to develop the Francophone press in Alberta.
And it's distributed throughout the province also, isn't it? It isn't
yes,
an Edmonton
North,
newspaper.
South, Red Deer, Airdrie.
Lethbridge.
Absolutely. So it's a challenge as well. It's a challenge as well to cover up all the entire province. But we are doing our best, and we want. It's something we definitely want, to keep going on track.
You're the new editor. Do you have a vision at this point for the paper, or are you still getting your feet wet?
No, you definitely need a vision, for this kind of job position. I want to modernize the newspaper. Each person, my predecessor, had their own visions, and they brought, their own, I would say, step, in the process. And what I try to do now, it's we are very into community news, which is great because this is the identity of the newspaper. But meanwhile, at that time, in 2015, for the future of the newspaper, it's very important to go to local news as well, to keep the community aspect, but to develop the local one too.
So is the newspaper going to get bigger? More pages to accommodate this additional content?
Bigger, it's, first of all, we are a small team, which is working very, very hard, very creative. And but at the moment, the priority, it's more about to reorganize certain things before, talking about getting bigger. Just to put some stuff on tracks, for example, to change the website during the summer, and to set up perhaps some marketing, strategies in September.
Because the newspaper is online also, isn't it? Through the
there is a website. And there is on the website as well an electronic version, what is very important for the people. For example, they are not able, to get access to the paper version. The electronic one is very useful. So if people are interested to get the newspaper, they can always subscribe online. But actually, the subscription, the electronic subscription, needs to, to some improvement, and it's definitely something I really want to push, and to improve the system, to make it easier for the readers.
And of course, expanding the size of an online edition is not quite as technically challenging as a paper edition. You don't have to keep an even number of pages, for example. No,
that's true, but we have the social media, which is everywhere now, and that gives nice visibility, to the newspaper. We just need, to feed the social media every day as much as we can, that's for sure.
Okay, for our viewers that might not be familiar with Le Franco, although if you look around, you'll see it in various places in Calgary, I know, and I imagine Edmonton and some of the other cities also, as well as online on the website. What can we expect to find in Le Franco?
Where?
What kind of stories, what kind of contributions come in from all over the province? Do you have contributors, or reporters in different parts of the province?
Yes, we have that chance. We are lucky to have different contributors, our columnists, like Suzanne à la Page, for example.
Our producer, Suzanne de Nicole, yes.
Suzanne is a strong figure in the French community, and she has so much experience that, can be a benefit for the newspaper, definitely. This is what she does every week or every month. We have different columnists, like, about justice, economy, and I want to have more contributors about sport. We have a sport columnist, Mario Giguère, as well, for about hockey, Le Coin du Raisin. And perhaps we want in the future somebody else about soccer and wine and fashion. And so it's something, we definitely want to develop on top of the regular articles about the French community. Francophile and local news can be very interesting as well.
Okay. Does the Franco go it alone with all of its content, or is there any kind of association with other French language or media outlets to help to get your content? Because you're a small team. It's hard to write that much content every week, I would suspect.
We work a lot, actually. Sometimes we work 7 days a week, definitely. It really depends, you know, the time of the year, and it's a new time as well for the newspaper. It's a transitional time. So we definitely want to try to get more contributors, and regarding, we would like to develop more videos on the website in the future. This is something what's set up before, but we want to keep that on track, but one step at a time.
So what kind of transitions are you going through then? Obviously a new editor-in-chief is a transition, but is there an economic transition happening behind the scenes? You've talked about the content transition that's happening, and also organizational transitions?
The content is very important because in September we want to set up, you know, I won't say a team, but a group of people, you know, to try to get more feedback and advices about what is the line, you know, for the Franco regarding the next readers.
So like a focus group or a forum?
Something like that.
Something like that, yes.
Just, you know, to really, you know, put some input in the intellectual aspect of the content of the newspaper. The tools as well regarding the website, but to try to modernize that website with some things I prefer to keep for myself at the moment.
Okay.
But
some surprises.
Exactly, some surprises.
Well, it's a good thing to keep people coming back to see what's changed.
Mystery is important, definitely.
Okay. Now, the Franco covers an entire province. So covering local news for an entire province at any given time would probably be impossible. I would imagine the contributors are focusing more on the Francophone events that are occurring in each part of the province?
We are lucky because we have some people, you know, who send us some articles, and that's still totally, you know, doable in a way that we need them. We need that people, you know, just propose to the Franco some articles and some pictures, and it's great if we can publish them if we have the time, and if, you know, if it works in that edition. And thanks to these people, you know, we have more contribution for the newspaper.
Well, that's kind of unusual, isn't it? Most newspapers don't allow just anybody to submit news other than the letters to the editor.
It depends. Some people write very well, and they have an expertise. They know how to explain and to tell their own story. And just a reminder, it's a minority. French are in minority. That is very important, you know, for us to rely on each other. And
they would, if somebody wants to do that, they could reach you through the website.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, and the website will be on the screen here. So that is the end of our English segment. Thank you very much to our guest, Hélène Lequitte, Editor-in-Chief of Le Franco, the only French language newspaper in Alberta. Please stay with us. We continue en français.